بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Imam Dhahabi rahmatullahi alayhi, he's one of the great muhaddith. He's written a book called Al-Qalam Nubala. So in this book is mentioned the seerah, the life of many of the great scholars, great ulama before. So in this book he's mentioned one statement regarding Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi. So regarding Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, Ibn Mubarak say that compared to the other like pious people, his ibadah was a bit less, meaning to their standards, not our standards. Yes, there was Sheikh Abdul Qadi Abdul Rashid Sufi. He said that he came back from university, Azhar University. So his father said to him, how much Quran do you read? So he was like a bit happy, alhamdulillah. He said, I'm going to say to my father, I read the Quran once every week, meaning 7 juz every week, 7 juz every day, which means a manzil basically. So his father goes, you read one every week? You read, mean that the Quranic verse comes, that one ayah comes on your tongue once a week? So he goes, I was happy thinking I want to tell my father I read Quran once a week. And his father was disappointed, there's only reading once a week. So to him it was a high level, but to his father it was a low level. So when we say Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, his ibadah was less, meaning their standards, not our standards. Yes. So relatively less. But then Imam Dhahabi rahmatullahi alayhi used to say, the reason for this is the ilm that he used to learn and teach and spread and propagate. This was much better than nawafil, nafil fast and nafil, salah and nafil, other options. Like today, like anybody who studies hadith, they have Imam Malik. So you have the Muwatta Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi, which is studied in many of them, all the Maliki schools. And even within Bukhari, majority of the Imam Malik's riwayat, almost all of it is already in Bukhari. It comes from Imam Malik rahmatullahi, is mentioned in there. So every person who studies hadith is benefiting today from Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi. This doesn't mean you don't do ibadah, doesn't mean you lessen your ibadah. You have to have a portion of ibadah. The point of this is that propagating knowledge and passing on to the next generation is also a very, very great ibadah. And it comes in a hadith that when you pass away, all your ibadah will come to an end. You can't do anything after you pass away. But certain things remain. You get the thawab and the reward after it. One is ilman warathahu. You have ilm and you pass on this ilm in a legacy as an inheritance. You teach somebody, and this is also going to be your amal. And this will be a means of reward for you in the hereafter. So you should remember that sometimes you have to sacrifice a bit of your own ibadah. So remember, first and foremost, you respond for yourself, then everybody else. So you have to make sure you have your ibadah in place. You have to make sure you take time out. If you don't have any taqwa, you don't have any ilm, you don't have any ibadah, what are you going to pass on to your family, your children, your students? So you have to make sure you have your own time. The Prophet ﷺ spent the whole day in ibadah, but then in da'wah, in tabligh, in propagation, but then فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. When you finish, then spend the night doing qiyam. The Prophet ﷺ, that's his every day. Why? So his time alone. So his me time was not to relax and sleep. His me time was me and my Rabb. He never had me time, he had me and my Rabb time. Everybody has to have their me and their Rabb time. But along with this, sometimes you have to spending time. Remember the Prophet ﷺ, like how much he would want to just spend time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. But despite this, he would sit with the companions, teach them, educate them, the da'wah, tabligh. This is very important. So for us, your father or your mother, don't just think that, I get annoyed that, I got to take the kids to school, so no, I can't read this much Quran in the morning. Or they come home from school, I got to change them, I got to get them ready. This is also, when you teach somebody, you're propagating, you're preparing the next generation. This is also a great ibadah. It comes in hadith, in many books of hadith, that when a person is a sadaqah, sadaqah. So everything is a sadaqah. The Prophet ﷺ is saying, looking after a horse. You're looking after a horse. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, when you look after this horse, you can use it for your own benefit of the ummah generally. So when you look after this horse, you feed it, you get reward for it. You take it for a run. The horse can't stay in the little, they have to go for galloping. And sometimes it goes for a gallop, and then it goes by a stream. You don't want it to drink, but it just wants to drink. So you have to just wait and let it drink. Yes, the Prophet ﷺ says, when the rawth, the excretion from this horse, will be weighed in the qiyamah. So if this is for a horse, what happens to a baby or a child? If you look after a baby, a child, a son, a daughter, how much reward would you get? So the Prophet mentions so much reward just for looking after this horse. And the Prophet mentioned all these annoying things about you wouldn't want. So imagine you have children, you have students, you have brothers, you have siblings, you have young people, and you spend time on them to bring them up. You're not preparing the next generation. So don't think of this as a waste of time or a hindrance or inconvenience. Think of this as another form of ibadah. Ibadah is not only, as I can before, I'm not trying to say, don't read Quran, don't do tahajjud, these are things that are necessary. But along with this, preparing the next generation, whether it's your own children, you're in maktab, you're teaching anything, you don't know where your reward will come from. You think, oh, I got this maktab, I should teach Bukhari. You don't know if the Bukhari will bring you reward or the maktab will bring you reward. There's a story, you should look it up. Harun Rashid, he was a great Muslim king, and his wife his name was Zubaydah. To Zubaydah, when they go for Hajj, now alhamdulillah they've got lots of facilities and Allah reward those people who put this in place, water and food, there's no shortage everywhere you go. Yes, but in like 100 Hijri, 150 Hijri, they had little wells, but in their time, in Harun Rashid's time, the water at Mina and those places was difficult. So the horses would go through a lot of difficulty, the camels and the conveyances, and people had a lot of difficulty trying to get water. So, but she was a queen, Harun Rashid's wife, so she has a lot of money. So she thought, nah, this is something I need to sort out. I could see that people find it difficult. So it's still got remnants remaining. So she got a stream that she built she didn't build it, but she commissioned it. It went from Ta'if and it went all the way to, how do you get water from Ta'if or from rivers or lakes, not rivers or streams from Ta'if, all the way to Makkah near to Mina. And some of the, like how they do it and the pressure, all that they've done, it's an amazing job. So Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullah alayhi, or some of the other muhaddiths say that she has made Jannah wajabat ala nafsiha. She's made Jannah, she's earned Jannah. Like this is such a great project. She has earned Jannah for this. And when she passed away, somebody saw her in a dream. And she said, what happened? Did that project actually get Jannah? She goes, Allah never asked me about the project. Allah forgave me before that. She goes, what happened? She goes, one day the azan was being given. And I was just sitting with some of the other girls in the house. When the azan was given, I sat up and just put a scarf on my head, like covered up my head. So for that one amal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgave me. And He didn't even mention the whole project of the whole massive mashru and the massive project of getting water to the Hujjaj. So don't think of, like, you have in your mind that if I do this, I am in the fame, the limelight, something that people consider to be a great project, then I'll get reward. You don't know. Sometimes you say one word. You might teach a whole class, you might have a whole lecture. You've got 50, 60 people in a lecture, and it didn't hit anybody's heart. And you think, oh, there's 50 people in a lecture, 100 people in a lecture, and it was a really eloquent speech, and things really flowed, and it was brilliant. And it didn't really affect anybody. And you can have one person, he comes to you, he goes, to give you advice, just try and pray for two rakats every day before you go to sleep. And he does it for the rest of his life, every day. And your nasiha, your mashura, just one person, you just said something, and that became a means of amal. So never underestimate anything. So what Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi is saying, he says, Imam Malik, that his nashr of ilm, his spreading of knowledge. And again, it doesn't have to be, you write a whole muwatta. You teach somebody alif ba, you teach somebody how to read Quran, you make somebody hafiz fully, partially, you teach somebody how to perform the salah, rectify the salah, you correct somebody's tajweed, anything you do, all of these things are a means of great reward. Fahim? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to accept subhanallah wa bihamdihi subhanallah wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.